Diversity, I would say, personally. The different cultures, I would say. Pretty much sum up Toronto.
Toronto's identity, I would say multiculturalism.
Safe, clean, progressive.
I think it's a world-class city. Clean, you know, place to come, there's lots to do. Great city.
I don't know, I mean, obviously multiculturalism has a great deal to do with it. There's a lot more diversity in this city than a lot of the others I've ever lived in North America. So I think it's unique in the fact that, you know, people sort of embrace that. There's not a lot of open hostility to newcomers to Canada. And I think how people retain their original identities once they come over, even after a few generations, is very unique. I like that a lot about this city.
It's actually got a similar reputation as Australia. Pretty relaxed, fun people.
It's kind of becoming recognized as a business center globally, and as well as its metropolitan status. It's the size of the GTA, which is the center of making one of the prominent cities in North America. And it's also known for its diversity, and which is, I think, a key thing, and recognized as such throughout the world.
Maybe if there was more like street performers and entertainers. I don't see a lot of obvious musical culture on the streets or art on the streets.
In the future, I guess a little more of what you see here. I'd like to see a little more expansion, you know. Less of the, as you get further out of the city, you get a lot of suburbs. I'm not a big suburb guy. I'd like to see a little more, you know, urban.
Just day to day, I would say, you know, relieving some of the congestion here. Obviously transit issues, things like that. The cost of living is a little high.
The weather.
Great.
I want more snow.
Best case scenario is they're doing a lot of building to infill the density of the city without doing any of the transportation improvements that go with it, and as well as the sprawl, the urban sprawl, and they're not keeping up with the transportation that's needed for that. And so the number one issue, I think, tackling the city in the future is transportation, both public transit and road traffic, expressways.
There's too many cars on the roads, and for people like myself who don't drive and don't want to drive, it's a challenge to get around. And I think that would change a whole number of aspects. I mean, I'm in transit for total 3 hours a day, if not more. So
I don't know. I think it's a pretty great city. I would say more subway maybe, because it's hard to get to certain places.
Pollution. I don't think it's much, but it's not too polluted, but it could definitely be.
Well, I think naturally, like, everything's fast-paced. Like, I'd like more people to be like recognize that, because right now it's important. And I think that would make a huge difference on an individual basis, like people being nicer, able to understand each other better, which would overall make it better.
Do you think it's culture, or is it because it's a big city?
I think there are like economic purposes for that. It's more of a global sort of thing, like we're all like money, or you know. I think that's, especially Toronto, you'd think that big city, blah blah blah, that's that. But if you put that aside and you don't really give that as much importance as we do right now, and think on more like social aspect of like getting to know one another, and, you know,
that's interesting.
other things more important.
Lifestyle, quality, life.
I think a very lively city, a peaceful city would be very important to me.
Do you think we have a problem with that now?
Yeah, I do. I don't think it's as peaceful as it possibly could be. There's a lot you hear about, a lot that you don't hear about that still happens, so we can definitely work on something like that.